Welcome back to the Poor Valley Princess Kitchen. I'm Beth Morgan, the Poor Valley Princess, and I'm glad you're with me today. Now, if you've watched any of my recent videos, you know we are currently painting our kitchen, and so it is a mess in here, but the cooking must go on, right? So today we are getting ready for another bake sale at our church tomorrow. The Baptist Women Group is raising money for another mission group, and so I am getting ready to make a butterscotch pie for the bake sale. All right, I am going to be cheating a little bit today by using a pre-made crust, and I got this super cute pie dish at the dollar store, and I just love it. It's a Dolly brand, and it says the most powerful thing in the world is love. Love just happens to be my word for this year, so I love this. I am going to be making my butterscotch pie in this Dolly dish today, so let's get going. First, if you buy these refrigerated flaky pie crusts, then you know how easy they are to use. All you have to do is roll it out and then place it in your dish and crimp the sides, okay? So simple to use. And so I saved myself a little bit of time there because I am going to be making more things for the bake sale, and this saves me just a little bit of time. I am going to pop this in the oven for a few minutes and let the crust brown, and we will get started on our filling, okay? Now we're ready to make the filling for our butterscotch pie. This, of course, is the tasty part. Now I am using my husband's grandmother's butterscotch pie recipe because it is his favorite. And so we're going to start by melting 6 tablespoons of butter in a cast iron skillet. Now, do you have to use a cast iron skillet? Absolutely not. But I just love the way it makes my pie filling just seem more custardy somehow. So you can use whatever you want, but I use a cast iron skillet. All right, so I'm going to melt in my 6 tablespoons of butter, and then when that comes off, I'm going to be adding in my flour. So I have my all-purpose flour here, and it is 6 tablespoons of the all-purpose flour as well. So let's let the butter melt. I love to watch butter melt. There's something so satisfying, as the kids at school say. Something so satisfying in watching butter melt. Now once this butter melts, I'm going to quickly remove it from the heat because I do not want that butter to scorch at all or turn brown at all. So I'm watching it pretty carefully, which, if you know me, is not like me in the kitchen. I am more likely to walk off, do something else, and totally forget it, and then suddenly be, what's that smell? Something's burning. But this dish you really have to stay on top of, or you will ruin it quickly. And I hate to say, I have ruined a butterscotch pie in my time by walking off and not keeping an eye on the butter. All right, so I'm going to remove that butter from the heat quickly, and I have my flour here, and I'm just going to take my whisk, and I'm going to quickly whisk that together until all of the flour is neatly incorporated into the butter mixture, and it makes our base for our butterscotch filling, okay? Now I'm going to take my brown sugar. I have 1.5 cups here, and I'm going to stir that in to my butter mixture. And that's going to be nice and crumbly. I'll hold it up so you can see it. That's going to make a crumbly mixture. I'm going to return it to the heat. And I'm quickly going to get my milk ready. Let me double check how much I need. Yes, 2 whole cups. So I have my whole milk here ready. And I am going to stir. You can see here, it turns just a beautiful brown color. And I'm going to toss in the rest of this milk. And here, I'm just going to keep stirring it because we don't want that to stick at all. So occasionally I'm just going to give it a little stir and make sure it does not stick to my pan. Okay, so next we are going to toss in our salt. Okay, we just got a little bit of salt. Give that a little stir. And we're waiting on the cast iron skillet to warm up, and it's going to make this butterscotch pie filling turn into this lovely custard-like texture, and it takes a minute. You have to be patient. All right. I think what I'm going to do now, while I'm waiting on this custardy mixture to start getting bubbly and thick, I've got my 3 egg yolks here, separated from my egg whites, and I'm going to give them a little stir because as soon as our mixture gets a little bit more bubbly and thick, we're going to be adding in these egg yolks to our custardy mixture. Now this is going to take some time, so I'll be back in a minute. One of the wonderful things about butterscotch pie is it is tied to a lot of memories for me. My dad loves butterscotch pie, so I remember my Mama Clara, his mother, she would often make butterscotch pies for holidays and special events, and she would have the meringue. I mean, it would be so thick on the top. And she would have it browned nicely, toasted nicely on top, and it would be so beautiful. And I can remember thinking, oh, that looks so good, so good. And I would get a piece, and here's the unfortunate fact. I don't like meringue. So when I was young, I actually called it cow slobbers. And you might have heard it referred to that as well, because when you look at meringue being put on a freshly made butterscotch pie, if you've ever been around anyone who has cows, you know, sometimes they'll have that foamy mess at their mouths. And so I thought meringue looked like cow slobber, and I called them cow slobbers often when I was little. So even though I thought that the butterscotch pie looked so delicious and I wanted to love it, I really did, I didn't care for it. But as an adult, I have come to have an appreciation for butterscotch pie and for meringue, believe it or not. It's still not my favorite, but I can eat it now. All right, my mixture is starting to thicken and bubble. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn my heat down to medium low. I've got it on about 3 on my cooktop. And I'm just gonna let that continue to cook. Okay, now to get my egg filling ready, my eggs ready, I'm going to take a little bit of that cooked sugar mixture and stir that in with my eggs. Okay, and now I am going to stir that mixture into my butter mixture, buttery, sugary mixture. And I'm going to continue cooking this for probably about 2 minutes until it really thickens up. And I'm going to keep stirring this because the last thing you want is for it to stick. That would be a waste of butter and sugar and milk, lots of good stuff. So We're going to keep a nice stir on this every few seconds. We're just going to give it a little stir. And when it is finished, we're going to pop in our vanilla and we'll be ready to pour it into our shell, which I have already pre-baked. It has been in the oven getting nice and toasty while we've been making our filling. Okay, we're going to give this just one more minute and then I'll add in the vanilla. Now we're going to add in, how much vanilla? I think it's a teaspoon. Let me double check. Yes, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So let me go ahead and get that ready. I have some lovely vanilla extract, some homemade vanilla extract made by 2 ladies at my church a year or so ago. We have a craft auction in December to raise money for the Lottie Moon auction, and so I bid on some of this vanilla extract and won it, and I love it. They did a great job making this vanilla extract. I have used it sparingly because I wanted to make it last longer, but luckily I have some put away that I started about 8 months ago. So I have some vanilla that will be ready in just a few months. All right, now I'm going to remove my mixture from the heat and stir in my teaspoon of homemade vanilla. And we will be ready to pour this in the pan. Let me grab the shell. All right, I have my baked shell ready. And here we go. I want to get all that yummy goodness out of this pan. My husband comes in, he'll be, did you save me some? So I try to save him a little bit. Now that I have my butterscotch filling in my pie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to the side and I'm going to whip up my meringue. Let's go. Now, even though I may not really care for eating meringue, I like my meringue to be light and fluffy. And so we're going to use this recipe today. I have my 3 egg whites left over from my egg yolks that I used in the butterscotch pie. And I'm just gonna start those whipping up. Now that's gonna take just a little bit of time. So while my egg whites are beating into little stiff peaks, I'm going to let that go. All right, my egg whites are really starting to beat. So I'm going to take 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar and toss that in. That's going to help my egg whites form really glossy, stiff peaks. The egg whites are beating up nicely, and so I'm going to let them beat for just a minute more, and then I'm going to add in my sugar. I've got 1/2 cup of sugar, but I'm only going to add it in just a little bit at a time. This is going to help make the stiffness look glossy. It's going to give it a sheen. I love it. All right, so now I'm going to add my sugar into my beaten egg whites. It's going to make it look so glossy. Here we go. The meringue is ready. And now for the final step. I am going to put this beautiful meringue on my pie. You can see how light and fluffy it is. And I'm going to bake it in the oven till it gets nice and brown on top. Just like my Mama Clara used to make. And then I will pop it in the fridge to cool, and it will be ready to take to the bake sale in the morning. I have an idea who might purchase this. Now I have a lot of meringue, so why not? I'm gonna just keep piling it on, nice and thick and fluffy on top. Something about the KitchenAid mixer just helps you to make such fluffy, beautiful meringue. And of course, adding that cream of tartar does that as well. We've had the door open and a fly has got in my kitchen today. But hopefully, you're gonna see, oh, there's my oven ready. Hopefully, you're going to see my new kitchen colors all finished in the next week. I'm hoping we can get the trim up today on the part of the kitchen that's finished, and then we'll just have to paint the backsplash and we'll be finished. Yay, new kitchen. All right, so I am going to brown the top of my pie, and it is going to be so yummy. Special shout out to Adorable and Dressy by Autumn for this really cute t-shirt that she gave away at her store opening just a few weeks ago, and I have been filming in it today. Be still. Sometimes that's a message that we all need to hear. So thank you, Autumn, for the cute t-shirt. It is in my Poor Valley Princess videos today.